Well, it's not a bad hat for one. Of course, that's either trappers or eldritch. Crap, that's not a good sign. Oh, mine is an eldritch, really. Okay, that's actually new. That's not something eldritch players actually use, so that's... Trappers, I'm assuming? I want to find out. Yeah. The only part is the Evil Eye Bias deck is a link heavy deck, so I'm not actually playing any of the exists I would normally play with actual Evil Eyes. Also, that also means unfortunately I'm not running Octo Bypass for this entire duel. Well, sacrifices must be made. Well, sacrifices must be made. I'll take 300 damage for that one, but not that bad, I'll consider. Okay, it's a burn deck. That expends way too much. Why would you do that? You just gave me more bullets for a link deck. Are you kidding me? Oh, GG, this guy doesn't know what a link deck does. And he already overburned me. What do I have for a link deck anyways? Yep. Honestly, don't have to care. Oh, funny enough, all the stupid tokens he gave me, I don't have to care, because they don't actually get destroyed, so the ojama tokens won't trigger. Here, a Nightmare Phoenix for you. No, that problem is, that face down could definitely be something that could completely overburn me. But at the same time, I don't really have to care, do I? No. I'm actually fine with that. One card that comes to mind that I would actually hate being hit by can occur. Just not the worst thing in the world. If he uses Nurse Burn, that would not be too bad. It is gonna end horribly for me, isn't it? Yep, it is. Then draw him back row, and he can set 3 more burn cards. That pretty much makes some entire life turn to 0 in one play. Yep, that's the overburn. Oh boy. Wait, what? I don't get it. What happened? So first test, after a long time. Only the evil eye cards mattered. None of the uh, live twins ever came up. Also, this is actually not the ideal situation for this deck. Ideally, I would want to draw one of the live twin homes, just to discard, and then do live twin plays that way. In this case, it never came up though. In this case, the evil eye cards never came up. Riveting. Just for context, I'm actually still on my... I already used up my normal summon, so I can't really do any evil eye plays this way. But I can still stall it out. I did actually just want a few copies of my entire graveyard. If Trouble Sun was out, that'd actually be pretty nice. But she ain't. Which is a bummer. I think my internet died. Yeah, and I just hit the Piper with that. Again, ideally the situation I wanted was to actually Trouble Sunning now would have been really nice to get. It means I can do more plays with Trouble Sunny, and I'm not completely bent over if I don't have Trouble Sunny in my deck. Yeah, currently live twins don't really have many major plays they can do without Trouble Sunny, which is kind of sad. That's pretty much just how the deck works at this point. Oh boy, I think I know what's happening. He's going to do the elemental hero, not the elemental hero, masked hero play, which is going to completely break my board. Hopefully he thinks that these cards are actually very dangerous, so he doesn't go for Trinity, which he will. Why wouldn't he? The Trinity kind of just completely no-sells the entire play. Which, by the way, it's a play that's actually pretty dangerous. Or that's Rainbow Neos. Oh boy. Again, gotta hope he doesn't think it's a very dangerous play. Of course he does. Alright, I think I should probably get the one that kills me. Uh, yeah, kiss kill. I'm surprised he would use it on Stratos. Just makes it so I can barely survive. Oh hey, I got my play. Normally you wouldn't really want to do it this way, but in this case I kinda just have to take the piper for the risk. I feel the card I would really want to draw in this situation would be the other life twin. Not the other life twin. Another evil eye of Saloon card. Which I got! Awesome! GG boys. I can actually do for this too. I just wanted to show off. Oh, so that was a misplay. Test 2. Evil Eyes really didn't contribute very much. A lot of it when it comes to Evil Life Twins is you have to know how to mess with your ratios. Also, yes, as you notice, I'm going to confess, I'm probably going to stick to gold a lot more. Because on my platinum, you have a lot more deck variety to play against in gold. This is why probably I'm not going to play anything other than gold for a very long time. What do I have here? Celestial's here, so... yeah, Toba Pass. I should really start running a Link monster. Cicada would be pretty nice, but who would I eliminate just so I can make space for Cicada King? That's the actual question. Oh, because I didn't really get the Lab Eye card I wanted. The reason why I don't actually place a monster in front of these two zones is because the relinquish can actually be annoying. Speaking of annoying. Oh, that's a bummer. That's not a good sign. Oh boy. Actually, why did I do that? Yeah, no, he could just chain with the Trickster Lycoris, and I would have to respect that. What the hell? Why don't you just do that? No, I don't know what the face down is. But worth a shot. Also, ironically, this is a really good position for me. You wouldn't think so, but it is a really good position for me because I don't really care whether they burn me or not. In the past, when I used to play Evil Eyes, I used to always think that Trickstars would be a hard counter for them until Gorgon came out, and it now just becomes, oh sweet, I'm getting burned. Now do it faster and make it hard. I'm not gonna normal summon that. Yeah, ironically, me being almost burned to death is very advantageous for me. Oh hey, you don't need the other lifetime. That's actually pretty useful. If only the twin monsters actually have an attack magnet sort of effect, I would actually help the deck a lot. Oh boy, a stacking one. Oh hey, there's the statue I like. Yeah, probably semi-Basilius out. Oh boy. It's a Trickster burn deck. I don't really get why. Actually, no, wait, I think I know why Control of 1000 is out. Ironically, if he doesn't overburn me, I'm actually going to kill him off outright. I'm actually doing this just unless he overburns me, I'm actually going to just snuff him out. I mean, I could, but I'd rather wait for attack declaration before I do anything. There we go. Yeah, ironically, Live Twins actually do give Evil Eyes a way to stay on the field longer, because they have many ways to gain life points. You'd think it'd be counterintuitive against Gorgon, but remember, the purpose of Gorgon isn't to make you super big. The reason Gorgon exists is just so you can come back from the shittiest position possible in terms of life points. So while you're not gonna see uber big Gorgon putting your monsters from what 1600 to like 10k attack points, or just completely neutering any type of deck whose main goal is life point advantage, you still get a pretty good deal out of it. Oh, so I'm surprised he didn't just use Lycoris to just chain over, but I guess that was an oversight. So ironically, I can just now do my life play right here and now without any repercussion whatsoever. And even if he can do something with a Foxy Glove, I just don't give a shit. Ironically, he's put in an even worse position than before. Nah, don't have to. There's a specific play I can do which just completely neuters any form of play, because I know what he has. If my life points are 1000 or below, I get completely fucked, but you know what? I don't have to care. Just do this. Don't worry, fellas. Don't worry, folks. I'm a professional. So why would you activate emergency? It's a horrible card. Well, it's actually advantageous for me. Nah. There's one specific card I really want to draw, just so I can prove a point. Yep. Awesome. There's a card I was looking for. Not really. Let me see. Cards destroyed by battle or card effect. I'm not gonna destroy that. It's a nice way to prove a point that I don't care. And it wasn't destroyed by battle either. Yep. The hilarious part is it wasn't destroyed. So that floating effect never triggers. Do I have to do all that convoluted crap to actually get there? Nope, not really. Is it funny though? Yes. Test tree, by the way. That's ideally what I want to do in an Evil Live Eyes deck. But the problem is, the actual Evil Live Eyes deck I use in an offsite, because I'm not gonna say where I use it from, actually doesn't use this recipe. I can reduce the amount, run at least 2 more nightmares, and the recipe wouldn't change too much. Yeah, the only Nightmare Unicorn. I could always just dump a card I don't feel like using. Nah, I'm just gonna keep those. Dragoon gotta stay. Alright, mister. Hmm. I use dinos, so those are actually. Oh yeah, that was one more deck. Now you better start at some point. Task 4, Gold rank. The reason why I'm not doing it in Platinums is because every single deck variety is honestly very stale. I'll confess, now on camera, but technically recorded. The reason why I don't really play Master Duel as much is because it gets really boring when no new cards are added to the pool, which is what I like about deck testing. And when every single time I duel someone, it's usually the same predictable strategy where I can immediately tell, oh, he went off, I lost. Or he didn't go off, I won. It's not the worst thing in the world. You have to understand, it actually gets very stale. You deal with the same decks over and over for the past week or an entire week, which is what makes me prone to just not play in the high ranks anymore. Nothing wrong if you like those decks. Again, my favorite deck that's actually in the meta, I have to recall the name. Oh yeah, Virtual Worlds, which was in the meta back then because of VDF or VFD, Very Fun Dragon, is my favorite deck because I like the virtual world aesthetic, and well, the Chinese theming is probably one of my favorites because, haha, go figure, raised. But I can even admit that having to play against those decks for weeks on end, or my issue with the Eldritch decks, where that everyone was playing them back then, and it got super stale, knowing exactly what's gonna happen, because there's really no form of unpredictability in a duel where you know the entirety of one player's deck inside out, because you played against them for 20 games in a row. In this case, because Platts is just completely filled with very popular decks, it's really rough to get excited when you already know what type of deck they're using. Admittedly, I know what Ignister does. I know their plays very well, and I know what they can usually do. But at least from time to time, you can see an Ignister player that, oh, he actually respected that. Humorously, I actually didn't want him to end the turn that way. Well, what can you do? Well, what can you do? Oh boy. Now it's gonna matter much because I still have no good cards in my hand. So I should probably just wait for him to activate a monster card, his field spell, just so I could just chain over and force him to do as a card. Because that was honestly a massive misplay on my side. Oh well, that's unfortunate. Whatever works, I guess. But what you can actually do to completely mess with an Agnister player, the moment they get their field spell out, disrupt it. There are ways to stop Agnister players from going off, and that's one of the most reliable ways to do so. Agnisters don't exactly die the moment the field spell goes off because they can usually draw copies. Well, you should run uh, the Ignister Island at 3, or at least at 2, because those copies do help, especially when stuff like Cosmic Cyclone or Spell Trap Card Negation exist. Yeah, he can have fun. Doo-doo-doo. So easy. Yeah, have fun with it. This has a normal summon, so yeah. Admittedly, I do hope I draw Lila, because I can't really do major plays until Lila is on the field. Nah, I'll let him. It's a nice way to prove a point. Now, of course, you gotta use a Lancia, which would actually mess with my Cosmic Cyclone, which he didn't have. For anyone who's confused, this is actually a ruling thing for field spells and continuous spell cards and traps. If a continuous spell or trap card or a field spell activates and is removed from the field, it actually gets negated because the effect cannot resolve unless it's on the field. This is not the case for every single other type of spell and trap card, and it's only effective with field spells and continuous cards. Except for one specific card that I really forgot its name. Also, the unfortunate part about this situation is I bricked. Really badly, too. So I'm actually in a horrible situation. He also still has a normal summon, so I'm being careful about that. Because Hikari adding Nestor can really mess me up. This is why I'm just not taking any risk for this one. He has 6 cards in his hand. I only know that he has a Ruru in his hand, and the rest I don't know. There it is. That's the card I was worried about coming out. He also just uses normal summon, so actually I have a bit of advantage now. If he has a... yeah, he did. There's a bit of a telegraph that happens whenever someone adds Ignis to our island. Either means that he's adding a copy for what's essentially the eyeshadow of Igniso card, or there's something funny going on. Don't worry, buddy. Still waiting on it. There it is. I'm hoping he summons the Arrival Cybers. Not the Arrival. What was the name of it? Dark Knight Ignister. So I can just use my defeat and pass him. Really good rule of thumb when you're trying to disrupt someone. Try to learn their deck as fast as you can. One card can tell you a lot about what a deck does. If you get the general idea, you can tell when to drop your disruptions and when not to. In this case, I didn't drop any of my disruptions because one, he had a normal summon which he used up, and two, I'm actually very worried about the Arrival. Not the Arrival. Dark Knight Ignitor. There's a Dark Knight play. Now either two things are going to happen. One, he's going to declare attack, which is honestly very annoying, but it's something that can happen. Or two, funny shit's gonna happen. Usually waiting is better than just using it. And in this case, I'm a waiter. Oh boy. Yeah, I actually should have seen that coming. him having a Doshin actually hurts. He can completely nullify my entire field in one play. Because G Golem is really scary. Go figure. And I didn't really draw any good cards lately. If I can draw one of the lifetime cards, I can come back from this situation, but I really doubt I'll be able to do anything about it. Also, you said that crap. Right, I completely forgot that it has a retrieval effect. Alright, so he can't use the Dark Knight Ignition's effect to resummon, so his best play is just that. What? Why? Awesome, I actually got what I needed. Fucking finally. I would be surprised if that's a second max C. Yeah, he did. Alright, let's see. I can actually respect it and not take the risk and let him go through. I can just not give a fuck and just go through anyways. Yeah, I'll go through anyways. He gets a +3, but the problem is I really need to have a good hand advantage. And I just didn't draw anything good. I shouldn't even be surprised about this, because it's pretty obvious what would happen, but at the same time, why am I not surprised? Yeah, he gets a 3. He gets a +3. The annoying part is I can't activate this during my standby phase, and he has the advantage he needs. So one of the things I can do about this is, when he summons the Dark Knight, I have to pop him immediately. And that will be my disruption play for the entirety of this duel, and I am dead. Awesome. Yeah, he basically just won that. Tells me not to see that coming. After that, there's only one more play I can do that would potentially salvage this entire scenario. And that one play is actually drawing any of the Evil Eye cards that I can actually use to search out my cards again. But of course, it could just be run a second Dark White, in which that case, that's game. Actually, no way, he can just one OTK me this turn. Never mind, that is game. That pretty much is the problem with running Evil Eye Hybrid. Yeah, that is game. He has more than enough resources to summon an OTK out, and I don't really have any way to protect myself. The main problem was pretty much I needed an Evil Eye card, and also Lane would have been probably the best card to have in that scenario. Didn't draw. Annoying part about this deck too. It has a really decent first turn option, but that first turn option is irrelevant if you don't draw any good starters whatsoever. That is to say, if you don't have a good start, you're fucked. Period. Backup Mill is actually pretty useless in this scenario, though those base downs actually do say a lot about what's gonna happen. And to be fair, I wasn't really planning on selling anything from the extra deck this time, so... The only saving grace is the fact that it doesn't specify how long these cards are banished. Oh, is this my early birthday present? Watch as I get completely neutered in one shot. Watch, this turn. Card face up reveals, and I get completely neutered. Yeah, Millie should probably run back remove this deck. Yeah, those two cards are actually not useful. More back was actually useful for this. Actually, wait. Yeah, one bullet would be actually useful. I could run less home. The problem is I can't really do evil plays with my twin plays without life home. It's actually pretty rough. I guess she does not run the present. It's a monster control switch, and I can just run some of the pot cards, but I need the extra. That's possible. Whisper good. No, that's not. Nope, there's a play. No disruption on turn 1, so either something's up, or funny shit's gonna happen soon. Admittedly, this would be very easy if Trouble Sunny was out. Because at that point, I actually do have a turn 1 play I can reliably use without any major issues. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much my life. Teaches me to expect anything useful. I'm gonna retest on these things. I personally just find that running pure variants is a lot better. Also, oh hey, I remember that. Funny enough, the instant counter for an ojama strat is just to immediately get rid of blue. Don't hesitate. Just get rid of blue. Even it seems like a waste. Because Ojama blue will completely break your entire board if you leave it alone. It's the lesson I pretty much just got from every single time I have to do an Ojama deck. Of course, unless you have an Ash Blossom, which in that case, you just ignore it. Which I didn't. Awesome! But I'm not activating my Lilith's effect. Oh yeah, it's standby phase. I'm only just drawing Ash Blossom as... Okay, yeah, Dendrods. Fuck me to expect anything useful out of this. The magic of it is he can premium summon the Super Ojama Armed Dragon, and I can't do anything about it. He'll just banish everything I have on my field, and that's just it. There's literally one play that could actually just turn this around, but the likelihood of that play happening is purely dependent on whether he actually snags the bait and just activates that card effect as soon as he can, or eats shit the moment he tries, or eats shit the moment he activates it. Of course, the most likely strategy, which I actually use a lot with Ojama decks, is go for A2C. A2C is busted for a reason, and that's because Ojamas have really strong ways to get massive hand advantage turn 1. You can actually end up with a 7-hand card, possibly 8-hand, you're pretty lucky, and an A2C that can negate up to that many times. It is basically Perfect Herald, but it has a really beefy body, and unlike Perfect Herald, which requires fairies, A2Z only cares where you have cards in your hand. Which in that case, you have a lot of cards in your hand, 8 Omni negations, which Perfect Herald does have, but it's dependent on fairies. So you can basically negate 8 cards without any issues. No restriction whatsoever on what you have to give up. And because of Ojamas, it really doesn't matter what you give up, because everything in Ojamas is better off in the graveyard. That would be my play, but I've actually loved to meme the Ojama Armed Dragon play, because it's one of the fewest plays you ever see anyone use Ojamas for. Also, someone runs 2 level 3s? What the hell? Shouldn't he run... Oh yeah, he's going for the A2C play then. Yeah, at that point it's super telegraph. That's A2C right there. Which in that case, it's actually pretty funny that I can just easily nullify A2Z in one play then. Money summons XYC, summon your other, summon, what was it, Kizuko? And just do your plays. A2Z is only really horrifying if you're unprepared. Or you don't have a kaiju. Of course, if you just be going for VWXYZ, in which that case, well, fuck me. I'm more surprised I didn't go for the extra mile. Oh, he had a third one. That makes sense. So, if he actually has a third Armed Dragon level 3, then that is obviously the A2Z. So honestly, it is almost guaranteed to be A2Z. Because he added 2 level 3s. No. Obviously, it's not super optimal, but having the least armed dragons, just having 3 to 10 is good enough for 8 Oja armed dragon ojamas. Oh man, wish I could buff that card even more. Wait, why wouldn't you attack? You can add more. You get more advantage. What the hell? Personally, I would actually just gone for armed dragon from level 3 place. XYZ, Dragon Catapult Cannon, yada yada yada. Again, the moment he summons that card, I'm going to summon Lila and destroy it. So he'll probably default to A to Z, which is the play I would go for. He might have 2 A to Zs admittedly, but I'm just hoping that's not the case. Because if that is the case, I am just downright fucked. There's really nothing else to it. If he does have it, I'm just downright fucked. I just have to hope for the best next turn. If he doesn't have it, then I have a play that I can do. Honestly, he can just extend it over. I'm just hoping he doesn't have 2 copies of that one card. On Dragon level 3, 5, 7. Oh, you can actually summon our Dragon level 10 and not lose up on anything. That's the advantage of Oya Armed Dragon. Obviously, I'm going to block XYZ for obvious reasons and just hope for the best. If he takes the bait for next turn and goes immediately for Oya Armed Dragon and activates that effect, then I basically won. I have to. I pretty much don't have a choice in the matter. The only way I can do it is just force him out, because usually whenever an Ojama player plays Assimilation, usually it's a 2-off. Because you pretty much have to hope that they don't have an out for it, and if he just summons, what was it, Armed Dragon level 10 Destruction Dragon, then I just don't have to respect that. There are thousands of plays I could do to mess them up, but that's pretty much just what I have for this type of deck. I believe he still needs cards in this deck, though. Oh wait, he has 5. Okay, it is our good friend like the Armed Dragon level whatever. I don't get it. VWXYZ requires both monsters to the graveyard, don't they? I don't think he uses materials from the graveyard. What's going on? That was a good pointer. Consider what your opponent has. That's actually just starting to creep me out, because that's actually a very scary play to consider. They might have a really strong out for this. He runs 2 level 10s? What? You, each, you, yuck, sin. I'm confused. I have to look into his deck more, because I think he made a misplay somewhere and then realized what was going on. Oh, for all you Ojama fans out there, I'll actually show you a deck list that I can build in like 5 seconds to show you what I would actually do for an Ojama deck. Alright, what type of deck is this? Okay, the Kaijus are actually very smart. You run Kaijus, but you don't just run 2 Gamesteels. 3 Gamesteels. You want to run Kumungus. The Lightning Storm is really useful. I would actually not run Regeki, because you want monsters on the field. 2 Magic, 2 ojama installation is the basics, but you want replace Regeki with Harpy's Feather Duster. You want monsters on the field, but specific monsters. If you're super worried, Dark Ruin no more, and don't run anti-spell fragments. What the hell was he thinking? I'll show you what I would do for an ojama deck. Yeah, I'll just take out the... Alright, I'll just delete this deck and show you what I would do for a ojama deck. Assuming that the main strat is Oja, Arm Dragon, Catapult, Cannon. Obviously, you run 2 of each ojamas. Run 2 of these. Run 1 pajama, 2 duos, 3 blues, which are right there, fun. 1 red, because it actually is like there's a combo you can use for ojama red. So you run 3 of matching, 2. Now here's where the ratios get messy. In the past, when you wanted to do Armed Dragon, Catapult, Cannon Dragon, you'd actually have to use level up. But because of new Thunder Armed Dragons, you don't have to. So this is what I would do for Thunder Armed Dragon. That's it. That's more than enough. Now here's where your options actually come through. I'll just go on the related cards. So you want to get VW Dragon Catapult Cannon, which means you'll have to get XYZ Dragon and VW Tiger. Which means you'll have to run 1 of each of these 3. And then 1 of each of these 2. Now this is where things do get messy. You obviously want Rescue Cats. Just to get your blues out as soon as you can. But here's where the stables come. So you don't want them to get too set. You can actually just not care and let them get very set up. But in that case, all you really run is Dark Ruin no more. 1 day of peace to be safe. And instead of just field removal, we'll show you soon. Lightning Storm is a really good because you want to go second. The alternative is Dark Ruler no more, right here. But for back row, Lightning Storm is a really good option. Because the only thing you care about in ojamas is back row removal. If you want monster removal, Uninterrupted Kaiju Slumber is better. Then you run 2 of any Kaiju. Gamesteel's a classic, but you just need anything that just doesn't need to get 1 shot. So literally Kumongus, Gaderia is good, and Radiant is good. You just don't want your life points to hit 0. Obviously, you'll die against a burn deck. If you run for a very budget setup, if you run Radiant and Gadarla, say you summon Radiant on our field, you take damage 3 times, which would actually kill you. So you have to do it twice, which Gadara actually has a problem with, but that's just a budget setup, and you have to be very careful about your ratios. If you get your 1 day of peace out, it's the most ideal way. That's for budget. If you really don't have a lot of money to use it for, run these 2. Otherwise, a really decent option is Village Royal Goods. Of course, you get really messy and you're very anal about consistency. Prosperity tends to work because what you're looking for is just summoning blues. Deal more damage, summon blues. Obviously, you can't use your 1 day of peace nor the second effect of a simulation or just matching, which I technically don't care too much about. This is for side deck option, by the way. And there you go. This is basically a very box standard ojama deck. You can take out the kaijus and just hope you get 1 day of peace out. or you can be very conservative on your blues and just use it once. Either way, you just have to not get completely one-shot, and if your life points are above 0, you're doing a good job. Of course, this is basically the box standard Ojama Armed Dragon deck. I did mention you could actually build A2C Ojamas, which is an even more consistent, I would say, and a lot more evil version of Ojama deck. Of an Ojama deck, which I'll have to show. Yeah, I don't really think Gladiator Beast actually matters. Is it actually out in Duel Links? Actually, wait, I don't think it is out. No, it is out. There's A to Z. You can only run one ABC, which, well, who cares? A to Z. This is how you build A to Z. Super weird, I know. Why would I run a jump station at 3? Well, will you believe if I say that you're running as a link deck? Yeah, you're basically running this as a link deck. Run one of these, 2 matchings, doesn't really matter what you run for village. This is pretty much your extra deck. What am I looking for again? Oh yeah. By the way, you run it as a link deck. So one of these are actually good enough. Switch really the cards. And there we go. Anything that's not stable is here. That's basically your non-stable cards. You can definitely overhaul this at any time you want, because this is still a really messy ratio, and there are many ways you could improve this deck. Also, obviously, Rescue Cat is a must, because of ojamas. And then there we go. Everything except the basics. This is just the basic stuff you want in the actual deck, but no staples involved. With staples involved, you pretty much just get something like this. Well, staples and outside cards, you pretty much just get something like this. Something I'm missing. It feels like it's off the top of my head. Or, oh yeah, right. More like monsters. Why Berryborg? Well, actually, there's no reason why. We don't really run into this, so I don't even know why I added that. I feel like something is missing. Oh, right, the Armed Dragons. You can actually not run level 10 and just run 3 level 3s, and it's fine. I just prefer to run the level 10s. Because, one, because each Q Hyaksen Manjo Metsanda. But I just prefer this setup overall. It's a really messy in the ratios, obviously not perfect 40, but well, we're playing ojamas, who cares? There's one more Link monster and fake it. Oh yeah! You can also play Borrowload if you manage to get lucky. Get very lucky with it, but I wouldn't recommend it. Also, because you're running the Nightmares too, you would actually end up with a pretty nice variety of Link monsters of different elements, so you can actually run access code. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can actually run them. I remember there was a card named Akabe Dragon, but I just don't remember it. Oh, it doesn't like it matters. These are all beasts, so that really doesn't change anything. Oh, what was the card I was thinking about? Yeah, you can run the nightmares. Also, you're not gonna run. Actually, you could. Oh, right, I remember now. It was a Cyber Sling 3 Tri-Gates. I never checked if it's in Duel Links though. No, it doesn't seem like it. Bummer. They actually didn't. Oh, here it is. You can run Tri-Gate Wizards because this also doubles as a U-Link deck. Funny story about that. One Tri-Gate Wizard is really easy to pull off. You might say, why would you do that? I mean, come on, you need at least 2 monsters on the field. Yeah, you don't. You can banish the card you control with the original names above, which is necessary, except for Dragon Catapult, but once you banish them, you're already set to go. You pretty much just need at least 2 open fields, and one of those fields can just take place as your EMZ. It is actually the sweetest part about this. So you can be really messy with how you ratio your things, and if you want to. Oops, I should probably reset my... Just more Monster Reborn, and you're good. You're super worried about that, run Monster Reborn. While there isn't many disables, because Dark no more is a card you can use, honestly one of your biggest problem will be back row, which is why you want as much back row removal as possible. So Cosmic Cyclone, Galaxy Cyclone, Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm are options you can run. And there are just many examples. This is when ratios get super messy, so you can downsize this deck by taking out the kaiju stuff really easily. Or you can just cut down a little bit on the ojamas. Ojama Red is not a must run, but it's one of the cards where if you run it, it's really nice to have as a backup plan. And there's one card filler that you can fill for your extra deck, so you can do whatever you want with it. You can run a second A to Z Buster Dragon, because you re-special summon them. So you can run a second A to Z if you feel like it's necessary, but one is usually more than enough. Of course, you could also just run a pot, like Prosperity, because all you really care about is getting your blue started, and you start 6 cards at the top of your deck. You start with 5 cards off, so 6 out of a deck of 45, and you just need to draw at least get one out of 9 cards revealed. You could also run one less assimilation and it wouldn't be that bad. So your ratios are slightly short. Or if you're really worried about turn 1, just First Burial, Ojama Duo, set any Ojama, and hope they don't one-shot you. Those are strategies you can actually employ in an Ojama deck, and those are basically just the ways you can meme Ojamas. There's another way you can meme Ojamas, which I actually am not gonna show because it's a horrible idea to try to meme with that. But hey, if you want to, hit me up, type a comment down there, just asking for it, and I'll just show you. I just tell the deck list. All right. Oh, and for this, have extra deck space. You can use any card you want in your extra deck. It doesn't really matter. What really technically matters though is just whatever place you do, just be careful. Also, yeah, I now remember. Resplinger is actually a decent option you can use just for filler. Traffic Ghost is a decent option for filler. And IP is a decent option for filler. You can actually run IP. It really doesn't matter. Or there's a second option you can do, because every single ojama happens to be level 2. You can run level 2 Xyz monsters. The raccoon comes to mind. So were to be really specific ratios, it could be something like this. By the way, this is actually not how we build a deck. If you manage to get a dwarf, you can use a mannequin cat, but the likelihood of that happening is extremely unlikely. And those are pretty much just it when it comes to these decks. Of course, you could actually just try to be funny and not care much about how you set up your deck. Oh, also with that, you can set up some really weird plays with it. Like a double A Zeus. Because this card cannot be destroyed battle, so you can actually just run Zeus, and there wouldn't be too many risks. Is it counterintuitive? Yes, it is. Because what happens is, you can't have Zeus and Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon in the same deck. Another way you could actually do this is Infernal Reckless Summon. Not Infernal Reckless Summon, it was Infernal Summon. Spell card, quick play, banish all, the classics. Oh, looks like it has to be very specific. Keep in mind, it's not that big of a loss because you technically have to activate your monster effect twice to get this off. But when you do, it's actually pretty much worth it. But the issue is you have to time your attack specifically in a moment where you don't mind losing your cards. Because the moment that happens, you can't do your Armed Dragon Catapult play anymore. And it's only useful just because you want to make a point. There it goes. Infernal Tempest. Of course, that only happens if you somehow manage to get your Armed Dragons in your deck, and you have every single one of your metal pieces in your hand without sending it to the graveyard. Because Ojama Simulation, unfortunately, does not summon from the banish. But that's only if you really want to make a point and be funny. I wouldn't recommend ever using this. But if you ever get to that point, go for it. It's worth it.